Oops. Hey guys! Let me try to see if I can get Josephine and Cass in here. Hey everybody. Hey Maria. Let me pin this. And let me add Joe and Cass. Josephine and Casper, I invited you both. So they should be joining. There's Joe.
I'm mid-snack. Hi.
No worries. What you eating?
A rice cake.
Oh, yummy.
I was like, oh, I'm starting. I need to eat something.
I know. I was going to try to eat because I was doing my workout. But yeah, I didn't have time. So
yeah, I was like, I'm going to just do a quick little snack.
yes, yes. And then Cass just sent her request to join. So I hope that they're able to get in. Cass, if you're here, I invited you to join. I don't know if you see my invite. I saw yours and also put accept. But it's telling me that Cass is unable to join. So let me keep trying. I know.
This chat room thing is hard.
I know. I thought it was gonna be so easy. But it did let me. Oh, yay!
Sorry.
Hi.
Hey, Cass.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How is everybody?
Good.
Good, good. Thanks for joining. Oh my
Thanks for
God.
having me.
Yes, of course. I'm so excited. I guess I'll get started so that way we can, I guess, stay within an hour, and not take up too much of anyone's time. So hi everybody who's joining us, because I'm sure you're joining from all of our accounts. I am Jackie. I'm the founder of People of Color, which is a non-toxic, vegan, cruelty-free nail polish brand, and it's made to complement the various shades of brown skin from all over the world as a first thought and not as an afterthought. And today I have with me Josephine, who's on the bottom left.
Hi.
And Casper, who's on bottom right.
Hi.
And these are actually two friends of our brand. They're big supporters, and we've become friends over the course of me launching People of Color. And for this spring summer, we are launching our For the Culture collection, which is a theme that started last year. Actually, we did a For the Culture collection, which was a 5-color collection that celebrated Black American culture in the US. And I wanted to continue that theme, being the brand People of Color, to just continue celebrating all of us from all over the world. And I had the idea, I said, let's do Hispanic and Latin American cultures next. And I said, let's do Por la Cultura to continue it. And Josephine and Cass came to mind first when I said, I'm going to need some help to, pick out colors. And I wanted it to be just authentic to both of their cultures and, the stories and memories that they shared with curating. So that's how we all came to be, and that's how this collection came to what it is today. So if Joe and Cass, if you have a moment just to introduce yourself and share who you are.
Go ahead,
Joe,
Cass.
you can go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? My name is Josephine. I'm Polish Talk on Instagram and YouTube. I've been doing YouTube nail polish videos for the last 3 years. I do swatching. I just do general polish videos. I'm from New Mexico. I consider myself to be Hispanic. And I'm really excited to share this collection with you guys.
Thank you, Josephine.
Okay, so I'm Casper or Cass, and I am from Miami. I grew up here. I'm actually also a licensed nail technician as of January, and thank you. And I I wanted to help with this collection because, obviously, Latin American cultures are very much overlooked in general in media, in beauty culture, and pretty much everywhere. So when Jacqueline came to me with this opportunity, I was like, heck yes, I want to do this, and I was just so excited to have the opportunity to um, to share our cultures and really uh, grasp the beauty and individuality of all of them with all these bright, lovely spring colors. Like, I think it was just so fun. I'm really, really excited to be here.
Yes, thank you so much, Casper. I know I keep saying Cass, but um, I keep calling you
Either
guys
one works.
both your shorthand names.
Oh, that's
But I
fine.
go by Jackie too. So I'm like, when people say Jacqueline, I'm like, who are you talking about? Like, oh yeah, that's my name too. But we came together. What makes curating collections so much fun is I have a vision, which is just an overall idea of the collection, but I don't have colors in mind. I don't know any type of names or anything. Like all of this comes about through me sharing the vision with our curators, and then from there, it's just the idea flow. So when I came to Joe and Cass with Por la Cultura, I was just like, I want to celebrate your cultures, and I want, to kind of incorporate the vastness of it, because when I think of Hispanic and Latin American cultures, I think of lots of color, I think of food, I think of, parties, no matter what type of party, I think of the beach, like I think of so many different things. And I wanted to incorporate that, but I wanted it to also be what Joe and Cass wanted. So if either of you want to share kind of what kind of ideas you first had when you heard about this, and then we can start talking about how we started to actually pick colors and narrow it down.
Well, I know the first thing that I thought of when you came to me with this idea was this I'm wearing it right now, the comida frita hecho con
Yeah.
amor. And like it was the first thing that came to my head. My favorite food is plátanos, like fried plátanos, and I thought, oh, how cool would it be to have like a golden yellow color with like black flecks to make it look like when you fry it on the grill or whatever, and they have little bits of char and stuff like that. So I was thinking like that kind of food, that and like elote and stuff like that. Like that was
Mhm.
the first like bam, like right in my head.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
color was all you, and I am obsessed with it. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
it's so good.
I'm so happy with how it came out. I absolutely love it.
I do
It came
too.
Yeah,
out perfect.
it came out perfect. And we actually had like not a bad back and forth about this, but when we first got the samples, it actually had more black glitter in it, which also made it look kind of greenish in the bottle. So we were kind of like, wait, it doesn't have that yellow look. But also too, we had to still make sure that it looked good on all skin tones. And so with it being a lot of black glitter, it kind of at least when I tried it, it kind of blended in too much. And I was like, oh, that pop of yellow's not there. So we ended up taking down the black glitter just a little bit, but I feel like it still came out like just right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's
Good.
it's perfect. It's exactly what I envisioned, honestly.
Good, I'm so glad. And it's actually funny too, because when you had said like this color and the reason behind it, the first thing I thought of, I'm in Southern California, and I thought about the food carts in LA with that
Yeah.
sell like the corn on the stick, like with all the good seasonings and stuff. So I was like, yes, I'm hungry now.
I know when I put it on, I was like, oh
Appreciate
my
it.
God, this reminds me of a corn tortilla. Like that was my first thought, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes. We do a lot of
Yes.
like tacos and enchiladas here, and I was like, that is exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was spot on with the char marks. And it's such a unique color too. Like I've never really seen anything like this. And
Yeah.
when I put it on, it's just like the yellow is perfect. And then just the little specks, it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not usually a yellow fan, and I tell you, like, I am so obsessed with that polish. I was like, man. Um,
I'm glad.
and for
Yeah.
me, the first thing I thought of was family. Like, I was like, my family is just huge, a huge influence in my life. In my video when I did my life swatching review, I was kind of saying I almost have like a codependent to another level relationship with my family that a lot of people would probably see as unhealthy, but it's like that's just how we are. And
Hmm.
so that was the first thing I thought of is like how can we incorporate family in some way?
Yes, yes. And then both of you actually named one person that was kind of the most important person, and it was Abuela. And um, I was like, yes, it's the same too for, Black culture and probably most families in general, no matter who you are, like your grandma, your abuela that's, the matriarch of the family and just where the lineage is continued to pass on. And so it's just such an important piece of our families. And what did you guys think of when you thought of abuela? Because we had to, I guess, pick a color to represent who that person is.
Yeah, well, abuelas in my life have always been very like peach orangey kind of tones. I actually have a perfect example is that a few weeks ago my grandma actually gave me her old couches and this is the color of the pillows. And I was like, "Oh my God."
No way.
So, yeah, very very abuelas are very orange.
Yeah.
I
And
feel like this is a good color, and then a little bit of hollow, it made it like glam, and I think it works really well.
yeah,
Yes.
because I feel like in Hispanic culture also, a lot of the women are very flashy. You know, if you watch a lot of
Yes.
like the telenovas and you really get into like the TV shows and stuff, like there's a lot of glitz and glamour
Oh
and
yes.
you know, I think like of J Lo, like she just turned 50. Like I'd have never looked like J Lo in my whole life, even in my 20s, and so like. You know, those grandmas, they hang on to that feisty, like flashy glam, you know, and but my grandma actually had these burnt orange 1970s vases in her house. And so
Ah,
when we gravitated towards that orange, like I just went straight to those vases and I was like, yes.
yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys nailed it with this one. When we were actually choosing colors, I have the original color that we thought, would kind of represent Abuela for us. And it was like this, I don't know what color this is. It's like a
Like a
pinkish
like a pink.
light orange. And
Yeah.
so we saw it, and it looked pretty when we were looking at just the swatches, but when we finally got the sample in, I think all of us immediately was like, no, like
Not quite. Yeah.
this isn't it. So we finally chose something else when you guys went on the orange track, and you both was like, it has to have glitter, like some type of shimmer to it. And so that's how we got to this beautiful orange with the shimmer.
Yeah,
And
I
I
love
love
it
it.
too. It's
Yeah, I'm very
very
proud of it.
squishy and jelly. It's so pretty.
Yes.
It is, yes. I don't know what makes it like that. But yeah, you might have to play around with it a little bit, but it spreads, but it is squishy, like Joe said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know for my bottle I did add a little bit of thinner to mine just because I felt like as I applied it a little longer, it got a little thicker, but I put in maybe like
Mhm.
5 drops of thinner and shook it up, and it's been good since then. So just a little tip if you guys do tend to think it's a little on the thick side.
Good. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Joe. I appreciate it. And then, so we covered food, and then we went to the family. And then from there, it was kind of all over the place. We initially wanted to honor Selena. We had talked about music, and that's obviously an important piece that we didn't get to include, but we wanted to originally. So Selena was important, and we were kind of in the reds and purple categories at that time. Joe or Cass, I don't know if I sent or if you guys have that purple that we thought
I
we
have the
were
purple.
gonna. Okay.
Cass has the purple. I still love that color though. It just didn't say spring and summer, but
Super
it's so
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yeah, I have a light here.
Yeah, that was a pretty purple. It was a deeper purple and it did have shimmer, but like Joe said, it ended up being too dark for what the direction that we were going in, but it was a hard goodbye.
It was.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I'm glad to have it in my collection.
Yes,
Especially.
yes. They got to keep some of the colors that we didn't choose. It was like literally the only one, and I'm like, have it. And then I think we had picked out this one too. I ended up keeping this one. It was like a reddish, like a burnt red color. It did have some shimmer to it. We were trying to go on the track of her iconic outfit, and then the purple came from the jacket that she wore. Was it the Grammys?
So she actually performed in like this purple jumpsuit. I think
Yeah,
it might be the last concert before she passed.
right.
And then the red outfit, I'm not sure where she performed in it, but yeah, it was like a little red kind of jacket with a red bustier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we were trying to go in those directions, but although the colors were beautiful, the ones that we got ended up being too dark for the direction that we were going in. So unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to this one too. So we didn't get to include music, but maybe on a part two or something like that. Um, and then where did we head next? Was it?
I think we
I
sort of
think.
went into the traditional
Yeah,
um
the
Oh
clothing and
vestidos
yeah.
stuff.
tradicionales, yeah. Because I think
Yes.
we incorporated like the fiesta. Well, I
Yeah,
know
like
for
the
me
party
we have the
dresses and the
fiestas.
traditional like
Yeah, so we and the girls dancing and all that stuff. So we
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
went that way.
like
Yeah,
with like festivals and stuff
that
like
was
that.
very important because all of the various countries all have similar traditions, but also different depending on their location and each country's history, and just the things that were passed down. So we wanted to celebrate kind of the traditional clothing and textiles that represent all of the countries. And it
Yeah.
was hard to just say, okay, let's just base it off of one country because that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
So we had found this confetti like glitter polish, and that's what we ended up choosing to represent kind of that color combination from just everything kind of, yeah, combined. Um, I love this one.
I do too. I think the glitter mix is so pretty. And then I like how the base is a little bit tinted so you can wear it on its own, but then you could still, top it over some. I would wear it over darker colors, but I like that it is like you do get that versatility.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's a really interesting and like it's a pretty unique one too because like you see glitter toppers kind of all the time, but like it's like different.
Right. And that's kind of the direction like all of this stuff went. Like it's just like something different. Um, and so this one is called Vestidos Tradicionales, and which means traditional clothing in English. And what was I gonna say about this one? I forget. Oh, the original one, I don't have it. It was like almost a light purple base, it seemed like.
Right.
And so we had chose that one, and when we got back the sample, we got this, and I was like, wait, this isn't the same. So I wrote Joe and Cass, and I was like, which one should we pick? And we had picked the original one, but unfortunately my manufacturer was like, oh, that was an old sample, and it like faded. So this is the one, and I was like, okay. But thankfully it went on the nail exactly the same. So it's still, we got what we wanted, just like a slightly different look.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments said it's giving them quinceañera vibes.
Yes.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
And Joe, you said too, like the confetti that comes out piñatas.
Yeah, when you break the
Yeah.
piñata and all the confetti and the candy falls out, it did remind me of that as well. It's just so fun. And I feel like, all of the traditional textiles for a lot of the Latin American countries are so bright. It just really incorporated that bright funness to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
agree. Are there any festivals or parties that are important to you guys that you remember, or any that you did like growing up?
So my family
Um,
had a party for everything. Like if we were gonna
yeah.
roast chili, we were gonna have a party. Like there was gonna be everybody there. My cousins actually have a band. So they
Nice.
show up. We have music to roast chili. We have music for like Christmas, kids' birthday party. My husband was like, I've never seen a family with more kids, and I've never seen a family have more parties than your family. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
yeah,
we gonna have to come to New Mexico so we
you
can
are,
party
you
with
are. I'm
you.
gonna feed you guys. I'm gonna party you up. We'll go on a hike. There's all kinds of really fun stuff in New Mexico.
Yes, definitely. What about you, Cass?
Oh, well, my family is definitely the same way with regards to having parties for like everything. Like,
Hmm.
uh, my parents, not so much, but like extended family, like we were always at a cousin's house or an abuela's house or an
Hmm.
aunt's house or a cousin's friend's house or something like that. There's parties for having dinner, party because we got new furniture, party because, like you said, parties for everything.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
always everybody brings food, a billion different types of food. Everybody brings drinks. Everybody has hugs and kisses and stuff, and it's
It's
like
the
such a huge
best.
part of the culture is just being around your family
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the best. Now that my grandma passed away, a few weeks ago, we don't really
Yeah.
have, I would consider a party, but usually the family gathers and we kind of like, tell stories about the people that have passed and, eat food and laugh and
Hmm.
now with COVID, we didn't really get to have that, and it definitely felt off. So like we
Yeah.
gather for everything, and that is a
Hmm.
huge part of our culture.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually when my grandfather died a few years ago, we actually did the exact same thing. It wasn't like a funeral or a wake, it was like a get together and we all just told, like you said, told stories, we laughed, we shared videos and pictures and just
Hmm.
talked about him, and it was fun, and we had food and drinks, and it was nice. It was a celebration of life instead of a mourning of death.
Hmm.
Yes, yes. I love that too. I love that. And do either of you celebrate like what is it? Dia de los Muertos?
Dia de los Muertos. I do not. I know people that do like the traditional altar and stuff. I don't do that.
Hmm.
That's not something we grew up doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, my understanding is that that's more of a Mexican specific culture thing, and
Hmm.
I personally am not Mexican.
Right, right. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Well, thank you guys for sharing that too. And actually, Cass, it's good that you brought that up because that was actually a part of our conversations as we were curating.
Yeah.
We both, or I'm sorry, we were all living in the Southwest at the time. Both Cass
Okay.
and I were in Southern California, and Joe was in New Mexico. And so some of the things that when we were curating was very heavily Mexican influence just from the region that we were in. And it's just what you see out here. And we
Hmm.
didn't, although, yes, Mexico is incorporated within the collection as a whole. We didn't want it to be too focused on Mexican culture because we really wanted to celebrate and be inclusive of all of the cultures. So that was a good conversation that we got to have because we were all learning too, like
Hmm.
as we were
Yeah.
researching different things and like, oh, they do this, but they don't do this. So
Hmm.
it's good
Yeah,
that you brought that up.
yeah, it was interesting to
Yeah.
me to learn about Cass's culture, because I'm more familiar with Mexican culture, and then my culture is kind of a mix between a little bit of Mexican, Hispanic, and Native American, and so Cass had some really interesting things that I had no idea about, which was like nice for
Hmm.
me to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and same with you. Like same thing. Like my family is Nicaraguan, Brazilian, and Colombian, so there's completely different areas of Latin America, than New Mexico and like sort of the northern parts that are closer to the United States. So it was really cool to kind of like go back and forth and kind of mix and match and learn what is the same, what overlaps, and what's kind of
Hmm.
different, and like see how we could pull inspiration from everything and mix it together. And
Right.
it
Okay.
was really
Yeah, definitely. And then, sorry guys, I'm not catching all of the comments, but La Rio said all throughout Central America, there's a tradition of some sort for de los Muertos, and Nicaragua's got it too, but in different degrees of celebrating, of course. So, okay, cool.
thank you, Beck. That's my sister.
Oh,
Oh.
nice. Hey, sis. So fun. Aw, family's in here. Speaking of which, we started to go to the beach and we went on vacation
Oh, I
for our
agree. In real
collection.
life, I'm ready.
Yeah, we talked heavily about we need to go somewhere now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the things that I felt too when I initially thought of this. I thought of, there's so many countries that have beautiful coastlines and beaches, and the beach is just one of my favorite places to be anyway. So
Me
I was
too.
like, the beach, like something with the beach,
Yeah,
anything with the
I
beach.
love the beach. I love going
Absolutely.
to the beach and getting my tan on and listening to the ocean. And yeah.
Yeah. And so it was, I mean, of course, depending on where you are, that depends like how the water looks, but we were able to choose just like a beautiful blue to just represent the beach and the waters that, of course, you would find there. So
Yeah.
this is La Playa, and this is the one that we chose to represent that aspect of the culture.
I
And
love
then
that color. The formula on that was perfect too. For me, it was like a
I
one coater.
know. Gorgeous.
That applied like butter, like a dream.
yeah, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. This one is really pretty. It's one of my favorites. I don't have a true favorite yet, but
Mhm.
because I just honestly like all of them.
Yeah.
Um, as I put them on, I'm just like, oh, this is my favorite now.
No, but yeah, it is like a really beautiful, like cerulean blue, like very perfect oceany bright. Like it's gorgeous. Like growing up here in Miami, I got to go to Miami Beach a lot. We got to go to the Keys a lot, and then for a little while, we actually lived on Palm Beach Island, and like
Ah,
there, like
Ooh.
those waters, that's exactly what it was like. It's perfect. It's
oh
beautiful.
my gosh, wow. I can't wait. Okay, we gotta go to Miami too, Joe.
I know, me
Yeah,
too. I'm ready.
we are here and waiting.
Right, yay. And then speaking of the beach, we kind of went back to food and drinks for our next one, but we also, it kind of tied into the beach too, like you're at the beach sipping on something. What are you
Yeah.
sipping on? So we were like, oh, we need, like a drink or something that represents a drink. And I guess one of the most popular cocktails in the whole world is the margarita. And so, pretty much anyone has heard of a margarita, if you're grown at least. And we wanted to kind of pick out something that represented that. And because we chose this green color to represent that, when I was sending pictures to Joe and Cass, a lot of the margaritas had like a frosted look, and it had like a lime or a mint, or I think even some had like a jalapeno recipe. And it was just like, oh wow, I never saw that. But it was just like a minty, kind of cool um, green color that reminded us of a frosted margarita that had like mint or lime in it.
Yeah,
This
that's a
one actually was, when I first put it on, this was my immediate favorite. I can say that.
It's a lovely, like mint julep kind of green, like soft and springy and bright, like
yeah.
and like summery too. Like it is exactly the shade of a frozen margarita,
hmm
and it works so nice. Like I love like sort of soft pastel colors, especially on dark skin tones. I think that makes them so
Yes.
bright and it just pops so much. I think it looks perfect.
Yeah, those
works
type
really
of
well.
colors when you're deeper toned, just get so much pop. And like in the summer, I get, a few shades darker and oh my gosh, I love a like either like a really light pastel or like a really bright neon or like, the really juicy colors. I
Yeah.
Hmm.
think that would be a beautiful pedicure too, like it's
Oh,
just a
yeah.
gorgeous color.
Hmm.
And the formula on that was really good as well because a
Definitely.
lot of those lighter pastels can be a little bit streaky and patchy, and this was not like that at all.
Yeah, I had a good experience with it as well.
Oh, good. Yay, I'm glad. Live feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, formula was super good on it. Your creams are always amazing, Jacqueline. Like every cream
They
from you
are.
Thank
I've
you.
tried is like perfect.
Yeah, they're top
Awesome.
notch.
Thank you guys so much. Yay. And then Nails Under the Sun said when she saw that name, I believe speaking of La Playa, I definitely thought of playas in El Salvador, which is awesome. Each person could connect to it. So,
Aw, that's great.
yay.
Happy to hear
That's what I
that.
was so nervous about. I was like, I hope that we're not like, because Latin culture is so big. Like, there's so many
Yeah,
countries that fit into Latin culture. And I was so worried, like, people were going to be like, what are they talking about? Like maybe we were too
right.
narrow. So I'm glad that
Yeah,
people
it's
did
nice
feel
to
like they
know.
could connect to it.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
nice to know that it is connecting for people. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely. That was one of my fears too, but I'm so happy. And then Diva Ish said that she thinks that it will be her favorite. Love minty greens. Yay. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And then we have one last color. I don't know if anybody wants to talk about this one.
I love that color. Oh, let me show you guys my shirt. I have my lowrider shirt on for today, and it says "I hop."
oh.
I bought this
Love that.
from our so my town actually has a lowrider day during the summer, and they have
Nice.
this huge parade, and lowriders from all over the state come and they park and they have a parade and we have a grand marshal and it's really cool. And so I bought this we didn't have one last year because of COVID, but the year before I picked up this
Mhm.
shirt and you guys, oh, I love it. So I decided to wear it for
Yes.
the day.
And then you said too, like your cousins or somebody, they do lowriders or they
So
customize them.
yeah, so my uncle actually was the president of a lowrider car club in the 90s.
Cool.
And then
Nice.
yeah, and then my cousins have some lowriders. A bunch of my friends have lowriders. So yeah, lowrider culture is really big here where I live.
Hmm. Same here in Southern California. Like
Yeah.
when you think of LA, it's like lowriders, duh.
Yeah, and I love the Gypsy Rose car we based that color on. That car is beautiful. I've
Yeah.
admired that
Yeah.
car for years.
Yeah, there's so much that I learned when we were reading about it. I was just like, wow, like this is amazing. And Jesse Valadez was the original creator of the Gypsy Rose, and him and his family are from East Los Angeles. And a part of that story is that I guess before they had like the true suspensions to, make it drop and stuff, they would tie sandbags to them to make it low. And then that's where they coined the term low and slow because, it's low and then,
Yeah,
obviously.
cruising.
Right. So that
Yeah.
name was perfect. I think, Joe, you chose this name, Low and Slow.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
super fun. So where I'm from, like on a Sunday night in the summers, if the weather's nice, there's just people cruising their cars and everybody meets up and chats and like, the single people are out ready to mingle and it just reminds me of summer. You got your little short shorts on and you're ready to roll. Yeah, you're like, come here. And so, yeah, that was just a very nostalgic color for me. My uncle actually used to judge lowrider car shows for the magazine as well.
Oh,
And so
cool.
we would go on road trips to all like the lowrider car shows in Phoenix, Las Vegas, California, with
Wow.
him. So yeah, I really lowrider culture is like a big one for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Wow. How is it cast in Miami? Is that a big thing there? Because it's like a
There's
beach
definitely lots of
town?
car shows right here. I have to be honest. I've never been a like car person, so
Hmm.
I also was learning about lowriders and stuff from Joe here. So it was really cool to brush up on the history of that. But there's definitely like you definitely see fun like strange cars in Miami, like bright colors, like uh,
Yeah.
al altered, edited. What is the word? Per,
For
Modified?
customized is the word that I was looking
oh,
for.
hmm.
Yeah, they have the hydraulics and they have the flames and the fire and the neon lights and stuff and the paint jobs and everything like that. It's definitely fun to see them going around,
Yeah.
especially on the beach.
Yeah, yeah. I think it just gives that whole vibe. And even
Mhm.
when we thought of lowriders in general, for color, we actually it took us a while kind of
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
narrow it down.
Because I ended up with this shade that we had picked, and it was
Oh
too dark as
yeah.
um. So we were looking at all like a bunch of different pictures of cars, and they all have that really shiny candy paint job. So we wanted something with shimmer, but we
Hmm.
Yeah.
had picked this, and it was just like too deep for the season. But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Super gorgeous.
But yeah, it was hard. Like we were looking at the blues, we were looking at greens, like
Hmm.
the apple green and stuff like that. I think we even had like a gray or something that we looked at. It was just like so many pictures that we saw for inspiration. And then
Yeah.
I really
So many
started
colors.
trying to research like what kind of history, what kind of story could we tell with this? And then that's when I came across the Gypsy Rose and I was just like, oh wow, like this was the most famous lowrider. And
Mm-hmm.
it had like a really like cool story behind it. And then also, kind of starting that car culture, lowrider culture kind of in
Yeah.
LA and being known for that, I felt like it was a good
Yes.
opportunity to share.
Yeah, and I like how the story kind of mentioned how authorities tried to like crack down on the culture by imposing laws about, how your cars had to sit and things like that. Because where I'm from, you can't you can't drive around with your hydraulics. That's illegal. So like your
Oh,
car actually has to be like a normal car. You can't have your car lifted or lowered or tilted. People do it, but it is illegal, and the cops do crack down on that. Um,
wow.
but I think it's interesting how they make laws to kind of like discriminate against certain cultures, and you still see that today.
Hmm.
Definitely 100%.
And
Yeah.
People
how, people find ways to adapt, like how that brings out some innovation. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, like you can't keep us down.
Right? Yes.
Right.
Well, and I think too, like we're just a very hardworking culture.
Yeah.
A lot of Latinos, Latinas, Hispanics, like we run the country with the jobs that we do, and I don't feel like we get the respect for that we should. Um,
100%.
Farm workers, people picking the food, and not everybody fits into those categories, but a
Yeah.
vast majority of those people, you do those jobs and they're paid
Hmm.
hardly anything. And those are the people they're trying to deport and kick out of the
Yeah.
country. And who's going to work those jobs? That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
when those, if the people do get their way, to get those people deported. And so
Right.
Hmm.
I definitely think we're a very hardworking culture. We're a very family oriented culture. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and I feel like that isn't always depicted in, the media, in the movies. We're shown as, we're smuggling drugs. We're, coyotes bringing people across the border. We're,
Yeah.
gangbangers. And there's so much more to the culture than that.
Right.
Yes. Exactly.
So yeah, you
Like
I,
can't keep us
we're more
down,
than likely try
yes.
to reduce us too. Huh?
no,
You
I
can't keep us
100%
down.
agree. But this is why I started the brand because I felt like, when I was looking at pictures, I'm like, I don't see any brown skin anywhere. And then when I was younger, I didn't wear polish for that same reason. I'm like, really? It's been like a lot of years in between then. No way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we have to do something about this. So people of color in general is all of us collectively, and we get to tell our own stories. And I feel most important is because for the longest, others have told stories about us. And then that's how you get the story that Joe just shared. It's all the
Yeah.
negative, just like, it's just like, okay, you're talking about this amount of people out of this amount of people,
Mhm.
and you're trying to paint us all the same, and it's not true. And when we get to share our own stories, we get collections like this, and just being able to, tell our own narratives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone in the
Like we're
comments here.
all,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, but yeah, we're all beautiful cultures. We're all different, vibrant, and incredible, and we all have like important values and important things to bring to the table.
Hmm.
And we all deserve to be celebrated for our differences and for the things that we have in common and everything. Like we're not just like a dirty stereotype. Like even
Yes.
Yep.
like we're we're people. We're important, and
Yeah.
we
Yep.
We
deserve
all
to be
bring
seen.
something to the table of, the American culture in general.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
And someone here says
Exactly.
that their abuela is still a cleaning lady and she's very proud of her. My grandma was also a
Yeah.
cleaning lady for many years. She would go
Yeah.
clean houses up into her
Mhm.
70s.
Yeah, my grandma, she just turned 75 or 76, and
Oh,
she's still a cleaning lady. She's incredible. She goes there every week. She's out there, and she still takes care of her house. She owns her house outright. She's incredible. She's a badass, and I love her so much. I'm really happy
Yeah.
we were able to like honor people like her with
yeah,
like this color and with the collection in general.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, both of my
exactly.
grandmas were badasses as well. My mom's mom was the first woman to graduate from the College of Santa Fe here in New Mexico. Her
Wow,
and three other women,
Nice.
and she was a teacher for 40 years. And then my
amazing.
grandma that just passed away, she lived till she was 90, but up until about 85, she would mow her own lawn, do her own yard work, paint her own house.
Wow.
Never learned to drive, which is crazy to me, but everything else. And even when she was sick, she was feisty till the end, like feisty till the end.
You can't take it out. You can't take it out. It's just always there.
It is
Yeah.
always there.
That's funny that you say that she never learned to drive because my grandma's best friend, who was kind of like a second grandma for us, she actually passed last year as well, but she also never learned to drive. I don't think that she saw any use for it. Other people could drive her places, and she had public transit. So,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I would pick up my grandma now that so she was her health went down really bad in the last year. I would pick her up and take her to get ice cream, and we'd drive around town so she could look at stuff, look out the window, and she'd always be
yeah,
like, "Oh, mijita, thank you so much," and she would always buy me my ice cream and my dinner because you helped me so much. But she when I asked her how come you never learned to drive, she's like, "Well, I actually have a driver's license." And I was like, "No, you don't." So she pulled her like she had an actual driver's license. How she managed to get a driver's license, I don't know, because she never drove.
That is too funny. She's like, I have this big old family that I started, so I'm gonna
Y'all
make
better
them
come
work for
drive me
me.
around.
yeah.
And we
Oh my
did.
God.
I mean, we did, and it was, that's another big thing with our culture. I feel is like we definitely treat our elders very respectfully. We don't we don't forget them. They're part of our families.
Yeah.
And we don't just leave them alone.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
it's an honor
gosh.
to take care of your older generation because they took
Yeah.
Mhm.
care of us. My grandmas both helped raise me um,
Hmm.
since when I was a little kid, and so like it's an honor to be able to return the favor to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Definitely.
is full circle for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should
Yeah.
be.
Mm-hmm. It is how it should
Absolutely.
be.
And like honestly, I'm really close with the one grandmother, but the other one I'm actually estranged from. We don't get along. We're not on good terms at all. But I have, like I said, my other grandma's best friend, and then my mom's stepmom from when she was growing up. Like them, I consider them other grandmas as well. So it's not just like blood family. It's like
Yes.
Right.
found family. It's friend family. You know, it's everybody. You know, like
Right.
family means more than just who you're related to. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we grew up calling people tios and tias, and then it's like you're not
Yeah.
even really related.
Yep.
I'm actually named after one of those like Thea, but not actually Thea.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All
It's
just
important those friendships, the relationships just, like you said, sometimes it's more than just blood.
Mhm.
yeah,
It's who's actually, there for you and help, mold and be a part of your life.
Yeah.
exactly. You know, and it's important to like because like one thing about Latin American culture is that it can be really conservative, which can be kind of difficult, especially for somebody like me who is queer and transgender and all those things. You know, like that's part of the reason I'm estranged from my other grandmother.
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, that's not all it is. You know, there's people are inclusive and understanding. Like another reason I'm so close with my other grandmother is because she is understanding and accepting of that. You know, like it's not this like old school backwards kind of like, oh, everybody's just a conservative jerk ass and like kind of stereotypes that I've seen around, like people are open
Hmm.
and understanding and loving, like it's a welcoming culture.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I've always felt welcome anywhere that I've been that is of your culture. I love it so much. It's just like an extended family.
Yes,
I
exactly.
agree.
So, yes, I'm just so glad that you guys both, were open to helping this vision come to life. I love this collection. It's just so beautiful. I've sometimes just put it out on the table and I just stare at it and I'm just like, this just looks so good. And I just love every story behind it, the names, just everything is perfect. So I cannot thank you both enough for all of your time and your energy and just all the back and forth. But I hope too that you kind of learn, at least, before this, just like what goes into it. Like the
Yeah.
collections look nice, but it's like, man, it's really like true thought, at least, for people of color brand, true thought behind it, true meanings, not just, oh, let's pick out ice cream colors. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're
Yeah.
really trying to tell our stories here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice and it's really it's important work to be done, like some people will scoff and be like, "Oh, it's just nail polish," or "Oh, it's just makeup," blah, blah, blah. Like, but no, it's still important, people deserve to be seen. Like you said, you never saw brown hands with nail polish on them, so like that matters. It's important and it's good for your children, for any children of other people. I don't have kids,
Yeah.
yeah, it's important to see ourselves represented because I remember being a little kid and like wishing I was white and being like, brown isn't pretty, like that kind of thing. I hate the idea that kids still would have to deal with that kind of, like. So
Yeah.
it was really really a big honor to have been asked to participate in this and like get to
Yeah. Yeah.
contribute to diversifying the beauty culture.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Cass.
Yeah. When I was younger as well, I didn't feel the same as I wanted to be white, but definitely I was made fun of for being brown. When I was in school, I would get called brownie, which is interesting because everybody here is brown, but I must have
I
been a
know,
lot
Yeah.
more
right?
brown.
How does that even make sense?
Like,
But yeah, I definitely had where I felt like, I was into fashion, I was into makeup, and I never saw people that looked like me in magazines as a beauty standard. Um,
Mhm.
and we never, you would go buy a makeup and it wouldn't look good on you because you weren't white. You would see it on a light skinned person and you'd be like, oh, I love it. And then you'd bring it home and you put it on you and you'd be like, well, what happened?
Yeah, like, what is
And
this?
you think it's you think it's something with you that's making it not work because you don't
Mhm.
really realize what you're buying into almost.
Right.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I love, that we're getting to like share our culture the way we want to and like tell our stories the way, we want to and give positive representation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
And then
thanks
it's fun
for
too because
helping us.
everybody gets to partake in learning about it and
Mhm.
celebrating it too. I think that's most important is like we know our culture and doesn't mean that you can just steal from us, but you can learn about it and celebrate it and appreciate, what we are bringing and contributing to
Yeah.
the culture as a whole because the culture is pretty much us. And
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
was the whole
exactly.
point of starting, even last year when we did it, was like, the culture, like we are the culture. We're gonna start
Yes.
celebrating that and telling, where all these things come from. It comes from us. So that's, kind of how we got that vision for this.
Yeah, I do think culture stealing is a huge thing. I think a lot of popular culture things, fashion, beauty comes from the Black and Latina and Hispanic communities,
Very much
and
so.
we don't get to use our culture. It's not celebrated when we do it, but it's celebrated when it's stolen by someone else. That is something that really does bother me. If
Yeah,
you remember like Gwen Stefani's Chola phase, um, the Kardashians were trying to do the Chola thing there for a bit, and it's celebrated in them. But when we walk around embracing those types of things, um, it's bad. If I go to work dressed like a Chola, they're gonna look at me like, "What are you doing here?" One, you look unprofessional, and it's a sad thing that we can't embrace our own culture, um, because it's negative when it's us doing it, but when other people come, then it's right. It's a good thing.
right.
Yeah, like we get called trashy for celebrating and uh like
Hmm.
being our own culture and like doing things that come from our own culture and
Yeah,
stuff.
like
And
we
then
party too much, and you guys
yeah,
have parties for everything, and it's not
you're
negative.
too
We're with
loud.
our families, and
Right.
Yeah, too loud. Your food looks gross. This, that, your names are
yes,
weird. Whatever kind of things, your hair, kind of
yeah.
stuff like that. And then
Hmm.
it's not gross. It's not ugly. It's not weird. It's beautiful. It's delicious. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
Everything about our cultures is beautiful. Like all
Mhm.
of it deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah, definitely. And
Sorry,
then
sorry,
also
Scott.
too, sorry if
But
we
yeah,
are
no,
missing
I agree.
any comments. Um, Blario says that it's very, this is so important, dismantle the internalized beauty standards that are not inclusive of the huge swaths of the population. Yes,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
agree.
it makes you feel like something's wrong with you. That's the part I don't like. It's like nothing's
Yeah,
wrong with us.
Hmm.
We're beautiful. And
yeah,
if you can't see that, something is wrong with you.
Right. And we don't need to prove it. Like,
yeah,
we don't have to
Exactly.
go out of our way to prove it. We don't have to change, who we are or what we're doing to make
Hmm.
someone else feel comfortable.
yeah,
Someone else feeling comfortable is their problem, not ours. Especially if you are just being yourself.
Hmm.
Not you're trying
absolutely.
to make somebody uncomfortable on purpose, but you're just being yourself
Hmm.
truly, and somebody else is uncomfortable. That is their problem and not yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, someone here said celebrating the vibrance and it gets called tacky or garish. Yes, I agree with that. And
Yep.
you see that with both Latin cultures and Black culture, I feel like.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
We're a little extra extra, but that's okay. Let us
Yeah.
be a little extra extra.
Look at what we have to deal with.
Exactly.
All the stuff that we have to deal with and all the stuff that we overcome, like historically, and even just in modern times, like all the stuff that we're dealing with right now, like
Hmm.
we are resilient and strong, and like we'll be loud about it. We deserve to be loud about it if we want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Woo, I got goosebumps.
Let me plug in my charger really quick. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then let me see where we are on time. We have like 5 more minutes. I don't know if Instagram kicks us off anymore at an hour. I've seen people
It
more than an
doesn't.
hour, but
Yeah, it
I
does not.
don't I don't want to take up too much more of anybody's time. And I just publicly am saying thank you to both of you for everything. I love the collection. everyone is loving the collection. I just love seeing the colors and the combos that they're putting together when they're ordering. Speaking of ordering, you both have discount codes if you want to share, and then we will always be sharing like on stories and when they post their swatches and stuff like that.
So my swatches are already up on my Instagram. I also have a live swatch and review on my YouTube channel, which is Polish Talk. And then my code is JO, capital J-O, for 10% off your order. And I just wanted to thank you, Jackie, so much for like bringing me in on this. It was so fun. And I want to thank Cass for like sharing part of your life with me. It's been a pleasure. Like, you're a total sweetheart. And so thank you guys.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. And I feel the same way. And my swatches will be up over the next few days. And my discount code is CAS, C-A-S, for also 10% off. And I want to thank you as well, Jackie and Joe, for including me in this and for sharing your stories and your cultures with me, and for like hearing what I have to say and letting me be a part of this. Like, it is, like I said again, it is a really big honor. Like it's so amazing to see, like you said, see all the people loving the collection and having all these wonderful reactions, and seeing all the comments in this live, and everybody saying that they feel that they can connect with the colors and connect with the collection and relate to what we're saying and stuff. Like it really means so much, and I'm really proud and happy to be a part of this.
Thank you so much, Cass. I'm so appreciative to you both. And like I said, I'm just so happy of how everything came together. Please follow both Joe and Cass. I pinned their accounts in the comments. But I'm going to save this video, so it's going to live on our IGTV. People can come back and watch it later. I didn't even get to paint my nails. I wanted to, but I was so busy. I was up yesterday packing orders just so they didn't all pile on to today, because I really wanted to have time to like chill with you guys. So but I'm gonna paint my nails, and then I will post my own pictures too.
Yay!
I know. Oh, Cass, you have on abuela and comida. Oh,
Yes.
I love it.
Actually, I just painted this while we were talking as well. That's why I was looking down a bunch.
Oh, snaps.
I have a skittle of everything
Nice.
but the glitter on mine. So.
Ooh, fun and fancy.
That looks really good.
Yeah, they look really nice together.
They do.
Yes.
They're perfect.
I feel like I'm ready for a fiesta.
Exactly. Oh, hey, Dayasha, how are you? Sorry, I saw my friend from Connecticut when I used to live there. But yes, hey, everybody who joined. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We appreciate your time and listening to just how the collection came to be, where all the colors and inspirations and names came from. And I will save this on IGTV. And you are welcome to share and comment. And like Joe and Cass said, you guys can get 10% off of your order now until whenever using Joe, J-O, or Cass, C-A-S, when you guys check out.
When are these going to be at Urban Outfitters?
Oh, I totally didn't mention that. Actually, I have to check.
Okay.
4 of the colors are going to be in 46 of their stores, and then all of them will be online. So as soon as I get confirmation that is like live or they're on shelf, then I will announce so people can go locally too if they need.
Awesome.
Yay! Thanks for reminding me.
I want to go get it at the store if it's there. My Urban Outfitters is 2 hours away, so.
Oh, snap.
Hopefully. Yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere, so hopefully it'll be there.
Yes. No, well, we'll check before you make that ride, because I would be highly upset. All right, you guys, thank you so much for your time, and we will chat again very soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.